push and pull on the typical Kenyan political scene takes shape as the ruling government and the opposition exchange wide-ranging opinions on tax, development and livelihood of Kenyan people. Much appreciation for joining me for a journey of information about the reality of our nation's trajectory, occasioned by micro wins of leadership and the shadows of reactions. You can trust the award-winning TV station Maisha TV for comprehensive coverage and analysis of it all here. We bring you news, views, and honor your right to information on Prime News. You are at the right place. And coming up,
firmly opposed to the current trend directed by a vindictive regime that the president that seems to be pursuing a personal vendetta.
I am very clear in my mind that we do not need the advice from the Scotland Yard to be able to remove and disband the murderous units in our police force.
President William Ruto defends his move to disband the DCI's Killer Special Service Unit.
Kama wewe una shida na Raila Odinga, angalia Raila ana kwa ana, lakini hapana dhuru wengine kwa sababu ya Raila.
Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga accuses President Ruto of discriminating Nyanza region over developments, asks him to face him man to man.
Marumbano mengi sana na tumetozeka na hayo. Tumewekwa aibu kubwa sana tukiwa jamii ya Wameru ambayo tunajivunia kuwa na serikali tatu: serikali ya national, serikali ya county na serikali yetu ya Njuri Njeke.
Njuri Njeke tells Meru county leaders all face consequences. Right, you're welcome on board, and my name is Bushabe Jr. Now we kick off with the latest news of former President Uhuru Kenyatta days after successfully facilitating the African Union-led Ethiopian federal government and Tigray People's Liberation Front peace talks in Pretoria, South Africa. The former head of state is again on a peace mission. On Friday, a Kenya Air Force jet carrying former President Uhuru Kenyatta touched down at Melchior Ndadaye International Airport in Burundi. A statement from Tare Rushasi House, that is State House in Burundi, indicated that EAC Secretary General Peter Mathuki accompanied Uhuru. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta is a facilitator mandated by Jumuiya in the peace process in DRC and just arrived at Melchior Ndadaye International Airport. The statement was posted on Twitter and read in part: Burundi EAC Affairs Minister Ezekiel Nibigira received the president before completing his tenure as Kenya's fourth president. Uhuru was appointed by EAC as a facilitator of peace talks in DRC. The announcement was made in July 2022 during the 22nd Ordinary Summit of EAC Heads of State in Arusha in Tanzania. Uhuru, who handed over the chairmanship of the community to Ndayishimiye, will oversee the implementation of the Nairobi process aimed at restoring peace. And moving on back in the country, President William Ruto has defended his move to disband the DCI's Killer Special Service Unit. Speaking on Friday during the launch of the State of the Judiciary report, Ruto also dismissed a push by opposition leader Raila Odinga to have elite foreign investigators like the Scotland Yard to probe extrajudicial killings. Ruto said on Friday that what is only required in the country is for everyone to respect the Constitution and do the right thing. Millicent Luomba dug that out and brings us the following report.
President William Ruto on Friday, November 4th, criticized calls by Azimio principal Raila Odinga to invite foreign investors in the probe of the extrajudicial killings linked to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations (DCI). Ruto, who spoke during the launch of the State of the Judiciary and the Administration of Justice at the Supreme Court, stated that Kenya has the capacity to solve the problem with the help of constitutional institutions.
I am very clear in my mind that we do not need the advice from the Scotland Yard to be able to remove and disband the murderous units in our police force. We didn't need any advice from nowhere. We just needed to respect our constitution and do the right thing.
He further reaffirmed his position on strengthening independent institutions and security apparatus in executing their mandate. According to Ruto, his administration was committed to enhancing professionalism in the police service and consequently curbing cases of human rights violations.
I am very clear in my mind that supporting our professional police force will guarantee the lives of every Kenyan and the security of our property, and we will get rid of the menace of extrajudicial killings.
Ruto also vowed to uphold the independence of the judiciary by enhancing its financial ability and independence. His statement came a day after Raila called for the government to invite Scotland Yard in the probe of the series of suspected extrajudicial killings.
We certainly don't need the support of institutions built by others. We can build our own institutions. Even those other institutions that we celebrate, be they the Scotland Yard or the FBI, they were built by countries who respect the rule of law and who believe in institutions. We should believe in ours. We should support our police force. We should support the Independent Police Oversight Authority. We should build our institutions. They will guarantee our security and they will guarantee our democracy. Our friends in the opposition are telling us that we should continue to borrow and we should not raise our savings. I want to say, for the avoidance of doubt and on record, that already we have had conversations with the Central Organization of Trade Unions. We have consultations with the Federation of Kenya Employers, and we have all agreed, except the people in the opposition, that it is necessary to increase our contributions on savings from 200 shillings to 6% of our salaries. Our brothers and sisters in the opposition should wake up to this reality and smell the coffee. Kenyans are moving on. We want to raise our savings because at the moment we are between 10 and 12% of GDP in terms of savings. We can scale that up to between 30 and 40% of our GDP. That is the surest foundation of running our development program, not merely thinking that you can go on a borrowing spree. In any case, the money you go to borrow is the savings of others, and you have to pay through the nose if you have to borrow.
He was accompanied by his Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Chief Justice Martha Koome, Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula, among other leaders.
In the Ruto administration, none of us, not the President, not I, not those below us, will ever take a telephone and ask you to determine a matter either way or another. That will not happen. And if you come across anybody purporting to speak for the President, tell them to get you something in writing. And they will not. And if they insist and they persist, look for me, then I'll sort it out. We must have an independent judiciary for our country because it is healthy.
Over the last 1 year, Your Excellency, the judiciary has been hard-pressed to work in pursuit of the strategic outcomes identified in the stage. The report shows that we have made great strides in ensuring that our justice system is accessible, it is efficient, it is also expeditious and cost-effective as mandated in the Constitution. At the same time, it also offers the nation a glimpse of the vital and urgent areas in which our corrective intervention is still required.
For the last couple of years, bills and acts of parliament passed at parliament have found their fate not too welcoming in the judiciary. You struck out many of them as being unconstitutional. And that is as it should be, because each arm of government must supplicate itself to the other. And whenever you make such decisions, it makes the legislature even more careful in ensuring that the laws they pass must be consistent with the Constitution and with the aspirations of the people of Kenya.
Millicent Luamba, Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
Right, and moving on, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga has maintained his sustained attacks on President William Ruto. Speaking during the launch of Mokwa Maize Mill in Kigoto, Suba South constituency in Homa Bay County on Friday, Raila alleged that Ruto has denied the people of Nyanza opportunities in his administration in order to settle political scores. Raila asked the head of state to go for him directly and leave the people of Nyanza alone.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga has maintained his sustained attacks on President William Ruto. Speaking during the launch of Mokwa Maize Mill in Kigoto, Suba South constituency in Homa Bay County on Friday, Raila alleged that Ruto has denied the people of Nyanza opportunities in his administration in order to settle political scores.
Katika wajira katika taifa letu la Kenya. Pembe zote za Kenya mpaka ishirikishwe katika serikali. Tumeona kama kuna ubaguzi kwa upande ya ajira. Serikali inabagua eneo zingine ya taifa letu ati kwa sababu ya kisiasa. Na hiyo si mzuri, manake ushuru inatolewa na Wakenya wote katika pembe zote za Kenya.
Raila asked the head of state to go for him directly and leave the people of Nyanza alone.
Kama wewe na shida na Raila Odinga, angalia Raila ana kwa ana. Lakini hapana dhuru wengine kwa sababu ya Raila.
He also poked holes into the Ruto-led administration, stating that the opposition outfit will not allow the president to increase taxes.
Sisi kama Azimio hatuwezi kupinga maendeleo. Tutaunga mkono serikali ya juu ikiwa kama serikali ya juu inatekeleza wajibu wake ya maendeleo.
The former prime minister alluded that citizens were already burdened with the prevailing harsh economic times and that Ruto should seek alternatives for raising the country's revenue.
Tungependa kuona kama serikali za ugatuzi zinapewa fursa, zinapewa vile pesa ya kutosha ili waweze kutekeleza wajibu wao. Na serikali ya juu vile
Raila had earlier asked President Ruto to desist from overtaxing Kenyans who are already suffering following the current economic situation. He also maintained that the Azimio coalition will play its oversight role by ensuring that the current administration does not burden citizens with additional expenses when even affording basic commodities was a burden to most households.
On our part, we made it clear that we would realize the promises we made without increasing tax burden on Kenyans. UDA must immediately shelve any thoughts of raising taxes on suffering Kenyans. Instead, UDA must improve revenue collection at all collection points like airports, customs points, registration of persons, VAT, and so on.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Rida Chebet Kering.
And Azimio la Umoja Deputy Presidential Candidate Martha Karua has filed a petition at the East African Court of Justice EACJ in Tanzania to oppose the Supreme Court ruling that upheld President William Ruto's win. Karua, alongside Muslims for Human Rights Director Halif Helef, wrote to the court on Friday, November 4th, arguing that their August 9th election grievances were not addressed by the Apex Court.
Raila Odinga's running mate in the 2022 presidential election, Martha Karua, has filed a petition at the East African Court of Justice challenging Supreme Court of Kenya judgment on 2022 presidential election case. Karua, alongside Muslim for Human Rights Director Halif Helef, wrote to the court arguing that the August 9th election grievances were not addressed by the Apex Court. According to the petitioners, the ruling made on Monday, September 5th, was not a reflection of thorough investigations, and it is downplayed in the nation's integrity. Furthermore, the petitioners argued that the Apex Court failed to oversee thorough scrutiny of the election technology. Karua lamented that the recommendations made by the Apex Court on reforming Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) were less effective since the existing mistake were not punished. Alif and Karua also sued the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, stating that it failed to address its problematic voter register, issues that were identified from the previous audits. Karua hinted at moving to the regional court in September, insisting that Azimio won the election.
Lakini kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio mwisho wa upishi. Hakuna mahali ingine tunaweza kwenda kubishana kiti ya urais. Lakini tunaweza peleka mahali pengine. Ndivyo tuelewe kama kweli koti yetu ilitupatia haki. Sasa sio mambo ya uchaguzi, mambo ya haki vile nilienda wakati ule mwingine. Na kwa vile koti ikasema ati tuko na hewa moto, hot air balloon inaweza nipeleka East Africa. So I am actually considering whether to travel on a hot air balloon to the East African Court just to discuss that judgment.
Karua has since refused to recognize Ruto as the president and vowed to go to the East African Court of Justice seeking advice on whether the 7-judge bench led by Chief Justice Martha Koome serve justice to Kenyans.
Shindwa. Lakini sababu koti imetoa amri, Kenya iendelee kulingana na vile koti iliona. Hiyo ndio rule of law na democracy. Hii si maono ya Azimio. Now it's me as a Kenyan because also I'm entitled as an individual. So it's something I'm quite considering.
For Maisha Prime, I'm Sharon Tepchumba.
A National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah has castigated opposition leader Raila Odinga for poking holes on the Kenya Kwanza administration due to the ongoing investigation on extrajudicial killings. During a press briefing, Ichung'wah stated that majority of the cases were committed during President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto's regime, which Odinga was also part of, courtesy of the handshake. The Kikuyu Member of Parliament noted that Odinga appeared to condone with the state officials who committed extrajudicial killings during the previous regime, saying it was time to end the bondage and the killing.
You remember,
the National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah has castigated opposition leader Raila Odinga for poking holes on the Kenya Kwanza administration due to the ongoing investigation on extrajudicial killings.
the former Prime Minister, yesterday, and I want to quote, he said that he is opposed to the government investigating the extrajudicial killings, and said it's a current trend directed by a vindictive regime and the president that seems to be pursuing a personal vendetta against specific current and past state officers in the pretext of pursuing extrajudicial.
During a press briefing, Ichung'wah stated that majority of the cases were committed during President Uhuru Kenyatta regime, which Odinga was part of, courtesy of the handshake.
Executions. And the question we're asking the former Prime Minister, Is he saying that no investigation should be carried out on the extrajudicial killings that happened in this country? Or is he saying that they did not happen? Is he telling us that it is a vindictive agenda that is targeting specific current and past state officers?
The Kikuyu Member of Parliament noted that Odinga appeared to condone with the state officials who committed extrajudicial killings during the previous regime, saying it was time to end the bondage killings.
I am very clear in my mind that supporting a professional police force will guarantee the lives of every Kenyan and the security of our property, and we will get rid of the menace of extrajudicial killings.
Odinga on Thursday said the investigations into extrajudicial killings in Kenya have turned into a political witch hunt targeting former DCI boss George Kinoti and some police officers.
One of William Ruto's grudge against George Kinoti and the DCI started way before the elections.
Ichung'wah, however, insisted that those who were involved in extrajudicial killings must be brought to book, as no one is above the rule of law. The majority leader dared Odinga to report the Director of Criminal Investigations, DCI, any information concerning cases of extrajudicial killings if he indeed believes the ongoing investigations is a political witch hunt.
Does Mr. Odinga know who these state officers are? And that's what we're asking Mr. Odinga. If you know who these current or former state officers are, who may have been involved in extrajudicial killings, the right thing for you to do is not to castigate government for investigating, is to walk to the investigative authorities, relay the information you have.
President Ruto ordered a crackdown on the Special Service Unit SSU, whose officers were linked to the forced disappearance of the two IT experts and of extrajudicial killings of Kenyans. The SSU reported to the former DCI George Kinoti, who opted to retire in September this year. While citing Ruto's inquest to find the two missing Indians who were to be part of his presidential campaign team and a driver, Odinga called for an equal vigorous investigation into the search and deaths of other Kenyans.
We want an equally vigorous search to establish the truth behind their disappearance and death of tens of Kenyans.
Raila accordingly wants President Ruto to investigate the deaths of, among others, Sergeant Kipyegon Kenei, who was attached to his office while he was deputy president. Odinga also wants President Ruto to launch a probe into the mysterious death of Christopher Koech, who was a witness at the International Criminal Court ICC in the case of the late lawyer Paul Gisheru.
Sergeant Kipyegon Kenei, the administration police officer, went missing just when he was supposed to accompany his colleagues, the Director of Criminal Investigations, to record a statement in the 39.5 billion shillings fake arms probe that involved the office of the Deputy President when Ruto was serving in that capacity.
Kinoti resigned at the start of President Ruto's regime, a note subsequently led to a flurry of accusations from President Ruto's allies that he had led a rogue agency. President Ruto on October 16th swung into action and consequently disbanded the DCI Special Service Unit, formerly known as the Flying Squad. Already, 9 officers who were members of the unit are in court and are helping with the investigations into the case of the 2 missing Indians and the driver.
We are, however, firmly opposed to the current trend directed by a vindictive regime that the President that seems to be pursuing a personal vendetta against specific current and past state officers in the pretext of pursuing extrajudicial executions.
George Kinoti has seen his former senior officers turn around and accuse him of engineering the charging of key politicians, among them Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, with corruption. The Director of Public Prosecutions at DPP, Nurdin Haji, has also blamed Kinoti for the high rate of unsuccessful convictions in his office.
That now he has taken up his rightful position as a leader of opposition, to oversight government.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Rida Chebet Kering.
Now, 3 of the most popular nightclubs and restaurants and 16 other entertainment joints in Kisumu City face closure after the county government singled them out for noise pollution. Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, through the acting city manager Abala Wanga, issued a notice to the establishments to minimize noise pollution or risk having their liquor licenses revoked. Meanwhile, Mr. Wanga has banned prayer crusades in public places as it moves to curb noise pollution in the city. In the 2 notices issued by Mr. Wanga, he explained that officials had received numerous complaints about noise in recent months. Alleyways Beer Garden, Club Da Place and Black Pearl Lounge are among 16 popular bars, nightclubs and restaurants facing closure after the county government flagged them over noise pollution in the city center and residential areas. Others are Fabrice Lounge, Anchor's Lounge, Africana Rooftop Bar and Restaurant, Davundu Bar, Ram XB, Mamba Hotel, Mwalimu Junction Hotel, Tausi Guest House, among many. Mr. Wanga has warned that if the establishments fail to comply with the final notice, their liquor licenses would be revoked. And from Kisumu, we move to Bungoma County, where an audit task force unearthed wanton pilferage in which 19 million shillings was paid to ghost students by the previous administration. Area Governor Ken Lusaka released a task force report that indicated former county officials who were accused of orchestrating a scandalous education scholarship fund. The Bungoma County Education Scholarship Fund was established in 2018, months after former Governor Wycliffe Wangamati was sworn into office. In the audit, 524 ghost students reportedly benefited from the 35,000 shillings bursaries, with the county possibly losing more than 19 million shillings.
Ambao watapatikana kwamba wamehusika watabeba msalaba yao. Na mimi sionei mtu, hii ni ripoti ambayo imetoka. Sababu kama shule tulikuwa jobo lilienda linasema hapa record inaonyesha kwamba watoto wako kiasi hii. Kuna watoto wote, mwalimu akauliza kuna watoto wote wako nyumbani, akasema hapana, wote wako hapa. Basi wacha tuwahesabu. Wanahesabu wanapata vile nilisema shule kama Kibabi unapata kwamba watoto 118 hawako. Hiyo yote ikifanywa utapata kwamba pesa mingi zinaweza kuwa zimepotea. Na hizi pesa zingekuja kusaidia wale watoto ambao hawajiwezi. Hata kwenye hiyo report pia tukitoa comprehensive report imeonyesha kwamba kuna watoto wa watu wanajiweza ambao wamelipiwa karo na scholarship. Watu wanaendesha magari, watu wanafanya kazi katika kaunti hii wamelipiwa na scholarship, na pesa ya scholarship na ingine bursary. Tutafanya hiyo report yote ili tuweze kujua pesa ya kaunti ya Bungoma hii imeenda na nani, imechukuliwa na nani, na paka tuipate. We must recover that money in whichever way that we shall do, so that our people get value for money. The committee identified payments made for what appear to be non-existent road projects. The claims were not supported by any valid documentary evidence. A case in point is payment made for 6 roads projects that appear to be supported by the same set of photographs as evidence of work done.
And moving on, the government of Kenya, under the directive of President William Ruto, has donated emergency relief food to the government of Somalia following the devastating bombings by Al-Shabaab militia in central Mogadishu on Saturday last week, which left 125 people dead and more than 300 others injured.
We always appreciate the support of Kenya, which has been on our side in all the crises that Somalia has been facing for the last 3 decades. And we really appreciate that they quickly responded to the call made by the Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud when he asked the neighboring countries and the international community to provide us with some medical expertise and some medical support. And this is not the first time Kenya has been supporting Somalia, and we expect that this will continue.
Terrorism has no boundaries, and therefore what affects Somalia equally affects Kenya. And it's always important to cooperate and ensure that we wipe out this menace, which is affecting the Horn of Africa and causing a lot of instability.
And the constant fighting between Meru County leaders has attracted the attention of Njuri Ncheke, the tribe's supreme governing council of elders. It has not been a good start for Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza and the members of the county assembly who have been fighting and threatening to derail service delivery. The Meru MCAs have rejected 7 out of 10 nominees picked by Mwangaza to sit in her cabinet as county executive committee members. This unending feud has now forced the Njuri Ncheke elders to step in with a 2-week ultimatum to the leaders to unite or they will suffer untold consequences.
Ya marumbano mengi sana na tumetozeka na hayo. Tumewekwa aibu kubwa sana tukiwa jamii wa Meru ambayo tunajivunia kuwa na serikali 3, serikali ya national, serikali ya county na serikali yetu ya Njuri Ncheke. Hii aibu we are not going to tolerate. Hakuna ambaye ni mkubwa kushinda welfare ya Wameru. Wote tumewaomba wakiongozwa na gavana wetu Excellency Kawira Mwangaza walete uwiano kati ya jamii wa Meru. Walete uwiano kati ya viongozi vitengo sote.
All right, with that story, I'm taking a quick commercial break. I'll be back with more news, so stay tuned.
Chakula inapikwa everywhere. Hapo juu kuna hoteli, hakuna maji, hakuna hizo vitu wanasema. Na sasa why only 4? Hizo vibanda nne ndio zilikuwa, si hizo vibanda nne peke yake, ni mali mingi kunapikwa chakula. Hiyo kudumisha usafi, ni kila mtu anafaa kudumisha usafi juu ako inikiabuka.
Getting correct content from TV has never been easier for many viewers. But with Maisha TV, we make it simple and accessible to access information. Education and entertainment at a button press on your remote control. And with our multimedia cool integration, you will never suffer again with low-level broadcasts around. We are professionally designed to work well on your TV screen. So now, let's get it on. Just choose it, watch it, and love it. Our viewers, see a better tomorrow. Our viewers value education. Our viewers dream big. Maisha Television, broadcasting to the people who see a better tomorrow. Maisha TV, the Kenyan channel pushing information to Kenyan viewers through digital television platforms.
Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
News.
Thank you for choosing Maisha Television for this broadcast.
Information.
Classes were in a poor condition.
Cultural programming. Coming to you through all major broadcasting platforms. Special in-depth coverage from around Kenya. Exclusive reporting from all across Kenya and the continent. Maisha TV presents high-class programming, engaging talk shows from our studios and outside broadcasting on a wide range of issues with trending perspectives.
I'm really asking our guys who are behind the camera to look for that clip and then play that clip.
Telling Kenyan stories you won't hear elsewhere.
the most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up to here.
Tangu corona ianze mwezi wa 3 tumekuwa na changamoto mingi.
Watching stimulating debates on a hot seat.
I guess. Wait, I don't know. Wait. Let me tell you why the No.
The latest happenings from around you on Maisha Prime. The Prime Talk shows connects us with realities of life. Hivi sasa, looking at your everyday life.
Wazazi wameweza kuwapa uhuru watoto wao na ndiposa
and local business, finance and investment.
Some levels of smuggling of sugar.
Maisha TV digital platform engages users everywhere through multimedia approach technology. A Maisha television digital platform, your local and continental channel platform where you choose it, watch it and love it. This is the place where it all happened. The stories that continue to change our country.
And at present we have got one student who is now at a BBC World Service working.
These are the faces we see.
Business studies.
Is Madam Susi Masaba.
Walter Usolo, Shem Bilembwa.
The voices we hear. Glad you're tuned in. You're still tuned in to Maisha TV. Now every day here on Maisha Prime News, we air feature from different schools across the country that have revolutionized societies through education. This is who we are. One channel, one bulletin. Masomo News Live. Join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for Masomo News Live, exclusive to Maisha TV. A strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey, but a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. Join Irene Mumbo Bushabe and Rita Kering on Prime Women Talk every Wednesday from 8 p.m. exclusive to MTV.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Is live at Hannesburg.
Barcelona is live from Damascus. We're on the doorstep. For Maisha TV.
For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television. For Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
Trusted news, trusted sources, trusted dissemination of information.
Check by all available means our territory.
Parliament must be careful.
Maisha Prime News, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. Trusted, unbiased, authoritative. The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News.
Take away the noise.
We are here to inform and educate you on all that is happening around you.
The Fury. Hello and thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are. The fighting voices, the distortions, the color and the flashy effects. But most of all, you can take away the lights, the misrepresentation that seeks to pull us apart, and then you can finally find out what is actually happening. And when you find that, then you will find Maisha Prime News, trusted, unbiased, authoritative.
The stage is set. The time is now. Credible news. It is Prime News. Only on Maisha TV. Prepare for the beast. Informative. Authoritative. Unbiased. Welcome to Maisha News. Welcome back. My name is Bushabe Junior, watching Prime News. Now moving on, the competency-based curriculum CBC continues to elicit mixed reactions across the country as President William Ruto's task force continues to collect views from parents across the country. In Machakos County, tutors in the devolved unit are in agreement with Kenya Kwanza administration that the curriculum needs to be fine-tuned and not scrapped off. Stephen Lubanga brings us more.
The task force mandated to reveal the competency-based curriculum CBC has started to engage the public for the next 2 weeks. The 49-member team has kickstarted its engagement in 10 counties. The team, led by Rafael Munavo, has spread out to different parts of the country. The task force is in Mombasa, where the Kenya Private School Association chairperson Dr. Elisha Mwenda presented private school recommendation and views to the presidential task force that was mandated to review the curriculum, accompanied by the association county assistant secretary Rukia Abufai. Mwendo asked the government to address the grey areas in CBC before its implementation.
Kenya National Examination Council iko na monopoly. We want a framework ya kuallow other players to come in. We want a proper legal framework turuhusu wengine waingie ku examine the curriculum. Ndio ile diversity itatusaidia, lakini NEC imekuwa na monopoly, is doing good work, but let's allow other players to come in. Tunasema ya kwamba hii elimu isiwe na gharama kubwa sana, kwa sababu education for sustainable development ni kwamba isiwe na gharama ya juu, na ni kwa sababu ila mtu aweze kupata nafasi ya kusoma katika jamhuri yetu ya Kenya.
Parents too wants the government to consider the post-COVID economic hardships as it reveals CBC requirements.
Tunataka elimu iwe bure, serikali ichukue jukumu la kuhakikisha ya kuwa tools ama vyombo vinavyohitajika katika masomo iweze kubeba na itoe mzigo kwa mzazi. Wazazi wetu wanapitia changamoto sana, haswa wakati huu mgumu wa economy. Tunapitia changamoto nyingi sana, na wazazi wamepoteza kazi wakati tumekuwa na COVID-19, na sasa hivi tunaishi katika post COVID. Hakuna aliyefanya utafiti kutaka kujua, je, wazazi katika hali yao ya uchumi wanaendelea kivipi.
I propose that for the new curriculum to be a success in capturing emerging issues, it must be continuously reviewed to ensure that it meets the requirements of preparing learners for the modern world.
Technical University of Mombasa Vice Chancellor Leila Abubakar said the task force is ready to learn and understand the difficulties that schools and parents are facing during the implementation of CBC.
Ni kama kulikuwa na inadequate training vile tulivyojionea sisi kule na katika vile tulivyoona, lakini shida kubwa pia ni infrastructure. Mpaka saa hii ya hiyo CBC au grade 6 ndio iko na changamoto katika hizo shule. Zaidi ningetaka kuwashukuru wakazi wa Mombasa County kwa kujitokeza kwa wingi leo, kwa sababu huu mnunguniko ambao ulikuwako sana kuhusu huu mfumo wa elimu, wamepata sasa fursa ya wao pia kuelezea zile changamoto ambazo wanaziona, na tunayanakili mambo yote wanayoyasema na tutayatia kwenye ripoti zetu, na kuna watu pia wametuletea hizo memorandum zao. Tunataka kuhakikishia kuwa kila wanachokisema pia tutakinakili na tutakiitia kwenye ripoti yetu.
Leila said its school has its own difficulties and the task force will come up with favorable recommendation.
Changamoto ama challenges ambazo ziko zinatofautiana kulingana na zile, manake zile za chechea unakuta wengi wameijua hii mfumo wa elimu na wameweza kutathmini vizuri. Sasa alafu kuna wale wa grade 1 mpaka grade 6, ukienda zile shule zile unakuta ndio pia wameweza kufanya, lakini ni kama ambao walimu pia hawajaielewa vizuri huu mfumo.
Elsewhere in Machakos County, heads of vocational training institutions have urged the government to provide a choice for students who will not be able to join the senior secondary schools to be fully absorbed in the TVET institutions in order for them to effectively build on their career.
The impact which will be there on TVET is that you will be able to identify the areas career you need to pursue after you come out. Previously, most students have been finishing Form 4, they get out of Form 4, they have done the exam, they even don't know what career they want to pursue. They start making decisions after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years. CBC will expose them early enough so that they are able to know, if I finish my school, how to pursue this line early in advance before even you graduate, you finish your school.
However, there has not been a pathway as to whether the government will provide an option for those who will not have completed their junior secondary school education to have a choice of their next step of education or proceed to senior secondary school.
So I think it has an impact because you'll be able to choose to make a choice of your career while still in school. In terms of grades 7, 8 and 9, those students who may feel that may not need to go to senior secondary, my feeling is that we should allow them. They should be allowed, instead of going direct, they can join vocational training.
Collins Kaloki, the director of Mumbuni Technical College in Machakos County, says it will be a plus for children trained under CBC to be absorbed in TVET colleges, as they will have prior knowledge of what is expected in such schools.
Because somebody may not feel comfortable in pursuing academic papers. Somebody may be good in catering. Somebody might be good in hairdressing. So we can tell them they can be with that message. Our suggestion as TVET would suggest that the students who finish junior secondary and feel they don't need to go to senior, they can be allowed to pursue vocational training.
Kaloki stated, since CBC is competency-based, it has provided a platform for talents to be tapped at an early stage, which can be well-shaped in TVET institution, thus preparing learners for the labor market.
So that they can build on their career and their interests. One thing we have seen, those who have grown in the rural years like ourselves, used to see young boys making very good cars of mabati. Those kind of people, that is somebody with a very good skills, and hiyo gari anaendesha. That person, if that kind of talent, nurture it, bring that person training to be a bodybuilder. Naweza enda kampuni ya kutengeneza gari, anaanza kutengeneza body za gari because akona the skill na akona interest. Ndio naona inaanza kutoka chini.
Steven, Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
All right, moving on October 11th, 2022, we commemorate the 10th anniversary of the International Day of the Girl Child, marking a global moment to promote the rights and empowerment of girls around the world. This day presents an opportunity to take stock of the challenges the girls face, celebrate their progress and spotlight their important calls for action. Nerima Wekesa has that story.
World will be a better place to live the day girl child is as happy as the other gender. Let us work in synergy to make this dream come true. On 11th October 2022, we commemorate the 10th anniversary of the International Day of the Girl Child, marking a global moment to promote the rights and empowerment of girls around the world.
This day was a mentorship day, to mentor the young girls, to make them understand that the sky is the limit, even above. They can be who they want to be. So I brought to them,
it's about humanity, humility and dignity, of which we need to accord to the elderly and also to each one of us. So basically this day, what she is doing, Margaret is doing, is that she's honoring the girl child, and more importantly, she's giving dignity to every human being as we speak today.
Has it been easy for you?
It's not been easy. It's not without challenges. It's been very difficult, and I must say that the support that we get from even from the likes of Margaret and others, you know, begging from the streets, begging for elderly people, it's not been easy. It has been difficult, but I've done it with gratification, satisfaction, and I thank my Maker for giving me the grace and the extraordinary possibilities to be able to support humanity.
This day presents an opportunity to take stock of the challenges that girls face, celebrate their progress, and spotlight the important calls for action. Among the most critical issues faced by today's girls is gender-based violence. Women and girls are disproportionately subjected to many forms of violence, including femicide, sexual violence, intimate partner violence, trafficking, and child marriages.
To be an African child is, I can say, is all about having the rights of this country, enjoying the rights, right to education, right to shelter, and right to food.
Tuwe na hii siku ili tuweze kujumuika na watoto wote, ili kuweza kuonyesha serikali ya nchi kuwa sisi kama watoto tuko kimoja na tuko tayari kuweza kuhakikisha kuwa nchi yetu iko na umoja.
Most communities in Africa, especially in our country, girl child has been ignored.
It does not matter where a child is coming from, whether the child is coming from a very affluent community or whether the child is coming from an informal settlement. The child needs to be treated, given the right to education.
Girl child has no voice at all in the family, and when we raise a girl child, we raise the whole community, country, and we save our future.
One of the reasons we came here is to empower women, because when you empower a woman, you empower the nation. We are here this afternoon so that we can encourage, regardless to where you have come from, where you are headed for is more important than where you have come from.
Most girls travel miles and miles for employment. Later on, they come back without oxygen. Most of our girls have been mistreated, being slaved. Others are being forced in early marriages, anti-FGM, child labor, among many. A girl can be president, doctor, engineer, pilot, teacher, and many more careers.
They want to see a female teacher. They want to see a female doctor. They want to see an engineer. We want the best. We came with the hashtag, let us make Mandera great, because we want to get professionals from Mandera. And I think you are part of those professionals. You are the generation that is going to lead tomorrow. I'm a VP. We want to get the next woman rep in 4 years from Moi girls to say, you know what, that day and that.
The late Wangari Maathai was a girl. Kome is a girl. We have Waiguru, Gladys Wanga, Achan Fatima, Lulu Hassan, Wavinya Ndeti, Martha Karua, among many. Most of our girls have been murdered due to love, marriage conflicts, and relationships.
Some level of respect for any organization that is giving services to the citizens of this country. It is equally wrong to be arrogant when we're dealing with the lives and the citizens of this country, more so on discrimination and exclusivity in forms of employment. And this is a matter DCI and all of us as stakeholders, including the government, that we need to respect our country, we need to respect our constitution, and we need to respect our citizens.
Gender-based violence also affects learning and education for many girls. It includes bullying, physical punishment, and sexual coercion, and takes place in and around schools and in online learning environments. FGM, child marriages, and pregnancies can also cost girls their access to education, impacting their well-being and future work opportunities.
Sign a consensus building agreement with the Kuria elders, who are also very ready to end FGM. So we are looking at a very progressive future.
But the law itself cannot end female genital mutilation. We need to use the law, yes, but we also have to ensure that we are sensitizing the community on the effects of female genital mutilation, child marriage, and the importance of girl child education.
Governments, policymakers, and the general public have a responsibility to do more to empower and protect all girls wherever they may be.
The men love our women. Stop battering them. Stop butchering them. Stop killing them.
This includes investing in programs and approaches that address the root cause of violence and discrimination, and ensuring girls' perspective are at the center of our responses.
Ningesema ningeuawa. Nikaendelea tu kufanya kazi, nikiteswa hivyo sikuli. Nilikuwa tu na survive na strong tea peke yake. Even pads, nilikuwa natumia my pant kama pads, sabuni nilikuwa naokea humo. Nikaendelea nikafanya 7 months nyumba ya kwanza. Hata salary yenye walikuwa wameandika kwa contract sikuwa nalipwa hiyo salary. Ilikuwa inafaa nilipwe 24,000, but nilienda nikalipwa 22,000.
We should place girls and young women front and center, amplifying their voices and solution to the international community to support change for and with girls. Let's unite to educate a girl child in the society in order to secure our future.
Shida zote ama vigingi zote ambaye inazuia mtoto msichana asifikie mali anajisikia amepata kujisimamia ziwe zimetolewa.
To be an African child is, I can say, is all about having the rights of.
Nirima Wekesa for Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
And Kericho County Governor Dr. Eric Mutai has launched a new cancer treatment unit at the Kericho County Referral Hospital. Dr. Mutai, while officiating the groundbreaking ceremony, said cancer patients will get treatment in Kericho County in 3 months' time. He further warned against drug stealing from public facilities, vowing to weed out those embezzling public funds.
Sat down as a team and we decided that it is about time that we do something. And as I promised the people of Kericho that we are going to have a cancer center in Kericho, today I'm very happy to announce that we have done the groundbreaking for a cancer unit. In 3 months' time, cancer patients shall be handled by a team of well-trained oncology nurses within our facility.
And now more than 1,000 wild animals have died in Kenya due to effects of the ongoing drought between February and October this year. Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza says losses are predominantly spread across 14 species of wildlife.
Most of the wildlife died in the months of August, September and October, with the months of September and October recording the highest number of wildlife deaths due to the drought. The continued worsening of the drought condition could affect more rhinos in the overstocked rhino sanctuaries, and this specifically for Gulia, Rhino Sanctuary in Safo West National Park. Some of the interventions that the government of Kenya has undertaken include provision of aid to the affected species, and specifically the grave feeding program in northern Kenya and hippo feeding program at Mzima Springs. We've also been doing water tracking for wildlife in the protected areas.
Kiambu County Governor Kimani Wamatangi has said that the county will compensate Thika traders whose stores were unlawfully demolished. The structures were brought down last week following the outbreak of cholera in the county, which has so far registered over 20 cases and claimed a life.
On Wednesday tulipewa notice tukaambiwa tusikunje kuuza pale MKU. Alafu in the morning Thursday wakakuja wakatubomolea vibanda, wakabeba unga, wakabeba mai, wakamwaga hata maziwa walimwaga, wakabeba gas, walibeba everything. Sasa venye tulikuja wakakataa kutupatia vitu zetu. Hata leo tulikuwa huko asubuhi, walikuwa wanatuambia wait for 20 minutes, wait for 20 minutes, na wako wanataka hata kutuongeleza. Walituacha hapo, wakaingia gari wakaenda. Sasa sisi venye tulisikia gavana anakuja, tukasema sisi ni wanaunda na tupangwingwi, hebu tuende tuongee. Sasa venye tumekuja tukaongea, akatukiza vizuri, tumeongea na tukasikizana na tukaona ni mtu wa watu.
Lakini baada ya hiyo pia kulikuwa na vurugu kwa vile kunao maofisa county ambao kwa mipango zao wenyewe bila ruhusa ya ofisi ya governor ama wakubwa wao walienda pale na kubomoa vibanda vya wale na kubeba mali yao ambayo ni chakula, mandazi, nini, manguo, vitu kama hiyo. Na unajua kwenye hii nchi yetu tuko na sheria na tuko na katiba ambaye inalinda mali ya kila mtu. Hata kama yako mali yako ni ubao moja wa shilingi 2 na yangu ni gari la mali ya milioni 10, sheria inatulinda sawa. Na mimi nikawaambia wanaofanya kazi nami hapa kama wafanyikazi wa county ya kwamba hakuna sheria inayoruhusu mtu yeyote kuenda kuharibu ama kubomoa mali ya wengine. Nimewaambia sasa wale wananchi wetu ya kwamba pia nao hao wako na jukumu la kutii sheria. Akiambiwa ya kwamba toa hapa, peleka pale, anatoa. Akiambiwa usipikie hapa, sasa tuko na ugonjwa, hamna usafi, aache kupika. Walakini hiyo sio kusema ya kwamba afisa yoyote ako na ruhusa ya kuenda kubeba mali hiyo, hata kama ni chapati ama mandazi. Sisi kama serikali ya county hatuuzi mandazi wala hatuuzi chapati na hatuuzi mchuzi. Kwa hivyo hizo hazina haja ya kuleta hapa, wachia ule mwenye amezipika. Nikasema ni muhimu kama tunaambia watu wetu ya kwamba tusimamishe hiyo. Kama mtu alipika chakula leo na unaona ni nzuri, inafaa kuuzwa, mpatie hiyo siku moja auze, akimaliza mwambie kesho usipike. Lazima tuwe na utu, ndivyo nimesema. Na nimewaambia kwamba wenye walikuwa pale, zile vibanda ambazo zilivyobomolewa hizo walihesabu, wakasema zilikuwa ni vibanda 10. Nikasema mimi kama gavana nitajenga tukiwa na watu yangu vibanda 10 pahali pazuri ambapo hawa wanaweza kukuja wafanyie biashara. Na tuwaambie vibanda vyenu ni zile, tujenge kwa standard mzuri, tuwaoneshe vibanda vyote ndani ya kaunti ya Kiambu na haswa kwa hii Thika Industrial Smart City.
Na tumefurahi juu amewaambia waturudishie vitu zetu na tuende tuweke, tusirundi hapo. Hata tutengenezea vibanda sa watu wenye walikuwa wamekuja, vitanda standard. Although asitakuwa na maji, tutakuwa hata tukiuza fruit, no problem. Regardless, we are working, we are not jobless. Chakula inapikwa everywhere. Hapo juu kuna hoteli, hakuna maji, hakuna hizo vitu wanasema. Na sasa why only 4? Hizo vibanda 4 ndio zilikuwa, si hizo vibanda 4 peke yake, ni mali mingi kunapikwa chakula. Hiyo kudumisha usafi ni kila mtu anafaa kudumisha usafi juu ako in Kiambu County.
Tusikie vizuri kama wana biashara, ametuelewa, amesikia kilio chetu. Kwa hivyo sote kwa pamoja tumeridhika. Sisi hatuwezi sema tunataka tupelekwe hapo kwa sababu kama ni tamaa ya mioyo yetu, tubaki pale pale, kwa sababu hapo ndo mahali tumekaa kwa muda mrefu, hapo ndo mahali tumepazoea. Lakini mradi tumepata msaada, mradi tumeambiwa kwamba tunajengewa, tutawekwa mahali pazuri, hatuna shida. Mradi maisha yaendelee, na ya kwamba at least tumepata uhuru wa kufanya biashara. Unajua freedom ndio kitu ya muhimu. At least saa hii hata tukiona watu wakanjo hatutakimbia. Sisi tuko tukiona hii magari tunaanza tu kukimbia, tunakaa tu kama suspect Kenya. Lakini saa hii naweza sema kwamba tumefurahi. Cha muhimu ni ya kwamba tutazingatia usafi. Tutazingatia usafi, na uzuri pia wametuambia hii ni kwa muda mfupi. Wakati kolera itaisha, basi wataturuhusu bado tufanye nini? Tuendelee na mapishi yetu. Kwa sababu hiyo ndo kazi tunajua. Sasa hiyo ukiambia uuze nguo na ujui nguo unaenda wapi. Kwa hivyo ninajua with the time vile COVID ilipita, hata kolera itaisha, tutarudi tupike machapati, tutapika masponki, wateja wetu wasikuwe na wasiwasi, maisha yataendelea.
Right, moving on, a section of residents in Isiolo County has lauded President William Ruto for appointing Dr. Mohammed Liban as a principal secretary in the State Department of Petroleum, making him the first ever person from Isiolo region to be appointed to the PS position.
Mali and Gabra communities, religious leaders and professionals said President William Ruto had finally remembered one of them for a state appointment.
Vile ameweza kukumbuka sisi, ambaye kwa kutaja mmoja wetu kama principal secretary. Sasa Mohamed Liban, kijana mzuri ambaye sisi tulikuwa tunaangalia, na kwa wale wote walikuwa wakitafuta hiyo kiti, tulikuwa tumeomba ya kuwa hiyo kiti iende, hiyo nafasi iende kwa Mohamed Liban, na imeenda. Umesikia, hata Mungu amesikia maombi yetu. Pia wewe Mungu amekueleza kwa njia yake, maombi yetu imefika paka kwako.
Na tumeshukuru His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Rais wetu Honorable William Samoei Ruto, ya kwamba hajatusahau na ametukumbuka, na sisi tunarudisha leo shukrani.
Kupata nafasi kama hii ni ngumu sana. Rais wa Kenya ni rais ya watu wote wa Kenya. Kupatia mtu na nafasi ni chache. Kupatia watu nafasi kama hii ni recognition kubwa, na sisi tunashukuru yeye kurecognize sisi, kutupatia hiyo nafasi.
Katika docket ya kitaifa, najua kuna kazi mingi imebaki. Isiolo tuko na wasomi kama Wakenya wale wengine. Nina hakika kuna jambo ambaye halijawahi fanyika Kenya tangu Isiolo tangu Kenya ilipata uhuru. Mheshimiwa Rais, kuna watu wanaitwa mabalozi ambaye katika kila kaunti ya taifa la Kenya nafikiri hawajawahi kosa kuonja hiyo matunda ya ubalozi. Isiolo haijawahi kuonja tangu Kenya ilipata uhuru. Mheshimiwa Rais, nikirudisha shukurani, kuna prastato ambaye bado haujawateua. Mheshimiwa Rais, nikiongezea, naomba hata hiyo utukumbuke.
All right, and with that, I'm taking another break. I'll be back with more news.
This is the place where it all happened. The stories that continue to change our country.
And at present, we have got one student who is now at a BBC World Service working.
These are the faces we see.
Business studies.
Is Madam Susi Masava.
Walter Usolo, Shem Bilembwe.
The voices we hear.
Glad you're tuned in. You're still tuned in to Maisha TV. Now every day here on Maisha Prime News, we air feature from different schools across the country
that have revolutionized society through education. This is who we are. One channel, one bulletin, Masomo News Live. Join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for Masomo News Live, exclusive to Maisha TV.
Maisha TV, the Kenyan channel pushing information to Kenyan viewers through digital television platforms.
Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
News.
Thank you for choosing Maisha Television for this broadcast.
Information.
The classes were in a poor condition.
Cultural programming. Coming to you through all major broadcasting platforms. Special in-depth coverage from around Kenya. Exclusive reporting from all across Kenya and the continent. Maisha TV presents high-class programming, engaging talk shows from our studios and outside broadcasting on a wide range of issues with trending perspectives.
I'm really asking our guys who are behind the camera to look for that clip and then play that clip.
Telling Kenyan stories you won't hear elsewhere.
The most wicked sight in my life is to see his tongue hanging almost up to here.
Tangu corona ianze mwezi wa 3 tumekuwa na changamoto mingi.
Watching stimulating debates on a hot seat.
I guess. Wait, I don't know. Wait. Let me tell you. Wait. No.
The latest happenings from around you on Maisha Prime. The Prime talk shows connects us with realities of life. Hivi sasa, looking at your everyday life.
Wazazi wameweza kuwapa uhuru watoto wao
and local business, finance and investment.
Some levels of smuggling of sugar.
Maisha TV digital platform engages users everywhere through multimedia approach technology. A Maisha television digital platform, your local and continental channel platform where you choose it, watch it and love it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Your world of Maisha is getting an exciting makeover. We're giving your channel a dedicated touch to enhance your viewing experience. Finding what you want and loving it has never been this easy.
We build your capacity. The problem is leadership.
My name is Rida Chebet Kering.
Welcome home to your dedicated channel, where you choose it, watch it, and love it. It's your season. Najivunia kuwa Mkenya. Na ninajali matukio yanayojiri nchini Kenya na ulimwengu mzima. Natazama runinga ya Maisha ili nipate habari kamili. Naichagua, naitazama na ninaipenda. Maisha TV ni bora.
Not a period, I'm a comma. Trying to say wash like a Dalai Lama. But every time you speak to me, my mind's lost in its own geography. Blame it on the ADHD, watch your thoughts fall out of my brain.
Maisha TV, your entertainment TV.
Getting correct content from TV has never been easier for many viewers. But with Maisha TV, we make it simple and accessible to access information. Education and entertainment at a button press on your remote control. And with our multimedia cool integration, you will never suffer again with low-level broadcasts around. We are professionally designed to work well on your TV screen. So now, let's get it on. Just choose it, watch it, and love it. Okay, welcome back. You're watching Maisha Prime News, and now let's get our education segment.
Education journey takes us to Saboti constituency of Trans Nzoia County to an iconic secondary school situated along Kitale Eldoret Highway. This is Top Station Secondary School, a school named after a Top Station railway station which donated land for the construction of the current academic giant in the region.
My name is Martin Wafula, Senior Principal, St. Michael's Top Station. I've been a principal for now 13 years. My first station as principal was Anderson High School in Endebess. I reported here in 2020 due to the ongoing nationalization program. I want to say St. Michael's Top Station is a sub-county school, one of the best performing sub-county schools in Trans Nzoia County and specifically Saboti sub-county. A few achievements that I've realized while I was here is 100% transition. We are admitting all students, giving all students an opportunity to be in school. We have also managed our completion rates. Now they are above 90%. Our programs, our academic clinics, and our board of management are on top of everything, that we are able to keep our students in school until they complete Form 4.
The school is the pride of the society as it has produced bright minds in different fields, which has contributed to the developments of the region.
We also managed to take quite a number of students to the university. Last year we took 25 and we are hoping to increase the number this year. Being a sub-county school, it is mixed and day. We have our own challenges like school fees, absenteeism, and other challenges which are facing other schools. But because we have a very robust guidance and counseling program in school, and our chaplaincy, being the school being sponsored by the Roman Catholic Church, our chaplaincy is also so strong to such an extent that they are able to guide our boys and girls very well to be in school and remain positive in their academics.
Top Station Secondary School has entered into books of history due to its physical appearance in terms of good environment for learning and the infrastructure.
In terms of infrastructure, we are trying, and I want to single out our area member of parliament, Mheshimiwa Kalib Amisi, who has continued to support our infrastructure programs. Specifically the administration block, which is now the face of the school. It was fully funded by the NGCDF supporting, and at the moment we are putting up another storied building of 10 classrooms. That project is being sponsored by the Ministry of Education and CDF as well. In terms of co-curricular, we are also doing very well, despite some interruptions due to COVID-19. And we are hoping come next year, we shall pick up in all the sectors, because we know we have to nurture talents as well to make students happy while they are in school. Currently, we are the champions in our sub-county in football, boys. And that does not mean we are not promoting other sectors of co-curricular. Among the challenges which we have limited piece of land. Our school is on a 7-acre piece of land, and given the population of around 900 students, we do not have enough playing fields. And as we prepare to welcome the CPC program, which is learner-centered, we need more land for more facilities in school. We are talking to our neighbors who are KEFIs as part of their corporate social responsibility, and we are looking forward that they will respond positively to our request that we can expand our land so that we can have more physical facilities and more playing fields to enable the school curriculum to move on smoothly.
With robust teaching staff, the school is aiming to outshine the long-term non-top education performance in Trans Nzoia County in the coming KCSE examinations set to commence in December.
I want to say I'm leading a very strong and robust teaching team of 40 teachers, because our school is force-trained. We have 25 TSC teachers, and we work as a team. Teamwork is very strong here, and that's why we are able to manage the type of performance we post. Our students are also very proud of their school. Very proud of their school. They are very patriotic, and they are disciplined, obedient to authority. I want to appeal to our Form 4s because they are our flag bearers this year. Teachers have worked very hard, and they continue to do the final touches here and there. I want to appeal to them to remain disciplined and focused so that they can post good results which can now market our school and encourage other students who are behind them to also follow suit. I want to thank our parents for supporting the school programs always, and appeal to them to continue supporting the school financially and also morally. Parenting is very key. Given that we are a day school, we rely on our parents for the formation of character and other programs which are outside school working hours. So as our parents, remain close to your sons and daughters. You prepare them to come to school ready to be taught.
For Maisha Prime Education segment, Maisha Television, I'm Rida Chebet Kering.
And from the education segment, let's have our business feature, My Hustle, My Story.
Small-scale enterprises account for the majority of businesses worldwide and are important contributors of job creation and global economic development. They represent about 90% of businesses and more than 50% of employment worldwide.
Kwa majina ni Omar Ahmed. Mimi ni mkazi wa Kakamega County, nikitokea kule maeneo ya Huisero sub county, maeneo ya Munjiti kule. Huko ndo mimi natokezea. Biashara na deal nayo ni cyber na duka ambayo ilianzishwa 2007 na mwenye alianzisha ni dada yangu. So kwenye hii biashara mimi niko hapa kumanagea business nilianza kumanage from 2018 wakati nilikuja kusoma kwa hii shule ya Sigalagala National Polytechnic.
Naam, la kidogo nikuulize, labda nini kikawavutia sana Mbezi kwa hii biashara ya cyber na duka? Labda
mara ya kwanza ilianza kama cyber, so inadequate of customers around. So unajua services, wanafunzi walikuwa wanataka services ni karibu, na cyber ilikuwa mmoja. In fact, the first cyber yes, Galagala ilikuwa the first one because of insecurity. The back it was the one that was serving as the entry. When security improved in 2012, it was to be turned to be forward. So market availability nilifanya because students wako hapa, pesa ipo. So kama wako vitu photocopy ilikuwa inafanyika, hiyo ndio ilituvutia sana.
Just like any other business, many of the businesses have got challenges. Maybe in one or the other, is there any other challenge that you people go through as shop owners?
Yeah, challenges ni mingi. Challenges ni mingi. But wanafunzi wanafungua shule. Unapata mwanafunzi anafungua leo, anachukua 3 time, anafunga, alafu ile period ya corona hiyo. So umechukua license, alafu hiyo license haikusaidia because you spend a lot of time unapata ufanye business because people are not around. Now challenge number 2, unajua cyber na electricity imekuwa balaa, unapata kila time inaenda. So unapata managing business is somehow difficult. Some various challenges. Lakini yote ni challenge.
Now, sasa away from those challenges, kama kibinafsi wewe kama ona wa duka hili, labda ombi lako kwa serikali kuu ama serikali ya kaunti ingekuwa vipi?
Ombi langu kwa serikali ya kaunti kitu kwanza wapatiane ile duration ili tuweze kuongoza, because unapata business kama
Kuna wanabiashara wengine ambao pia wana complain ya kuwa the current economy, labda kuna high prices of commodities. Labda wewe kibinafsi kama hilo swala likuathiri pia?
Sasa unajua economy zaidi ni very high. So it follows the businesses. Because there's no funds. You know, in business first you can encounter loss of profit. But when the economy is too high, you can encounter loss. So because today when you go to the market, when you find never sell ugali, other level 6 times nobody can pay a change. So tomorrow when you go, you find that price the high karibu 20%. So unaona ile profit ulikuwa umepata wakati narudi sokoni unapata iko loss, because you spend whatever you have sold and you add another more so that you can get that commodity so that you can come back and sell again. So unapata hapo is a big challenge. Many people are suffering. No money. So government ifanye kitu kilele kupunguzia hii maneno at least mudi wanapoongea. Saa hii duka si kama bado sukari za hii duka wanasema unga ndio hiyo tu hapo na vitu unga zikifikana hivi vile it's not easy for many people. Yeah.
Na umeelezea zile challenges ambazo nyinyi kama wanabiashara mnapitia, na labda kidogo tu nikuulize kuwa kuna wanabiashara wengi tu ambao pia wanapitia hali sawa, labda zile challenges ambazo wewe binafsi unapitia, wao pia wanapitia. Labda kibinafsi ungependa kuwapa ushauri gani haswa wanapoendelea na biashara zao?
Kila kitu na mwisho, kilicho na kwanza advance kugonga kila kitu lazima upitie magumu ndio then you give up. Tomorrow things will come to normal. Utaendelea mfano kufanya saa hii ndio unajifunza mwaso you. I think saa hii kazi ilikuwa scam because wamesoma lakini sio napata ya feedback. So basi wengi biashara Mungu ako na sisi and they trust me God above all.
Now that has been the story of Omar Hamedas saying despite the challenges that they are going through, my hustle, my story should just continue. They should just hustle, and everyone must just hustle to make sure that we are changing the economy of our Kenya. That is tomorrow, if not today. My name is Anthony Sundwa. Thank you for giving me your time.
Alright folks, that feature brings us to the end of the comprehensive bulletin Maisha Prime News. I will leave you with this thought. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I'll say that again. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Continue watching as we have more comprehensive, educative, informative and entertaining programs ahead. Remember, Maisha Prime News airs every Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. and 9 a.m. and also on weekends at 9 p.m. Have a well over time.